to the angels everywhere, upon many men that deserve your mercy, but I don't deserve your mercy again. No, keep it kosher, we living how we supposed to. Every Sabbath on the block,
So if you look here, right, you have a list. On this side, you have the tribes of Israel, and on this side, you have the common names of people like the Jamaicans, the Dominicans, the Seminole Indians, right? You say you're from Honduras, right? You would fall under this category right here, where it says, Salakia, Zebulon, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Cap, Honduras, or is it Asher? Huh? Zebulon, come, right. So you would be an Israelite from the tribe of Zebulon. Now, I just told you something. I told you what your true nationality is. That's why we asked that question first. Because I want to see what answer you give, and then I want to give you the correct answer. Don't take being corrected as a wrong thing. That just means you've gotten better. Now, the next time somebody asks you your nationality, you can say, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Zebulon. Because being an Israelite from the tribe of Zebulon states something. And this is what it states. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Oh. Yeah, let me get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. This is what it states. Because when you say, I'm Honduras, people just like, okay, you're Honduras. But when you say you're an Israelite, this is what comes with it. Read. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. This is how God feels about you. What's your name, brother? Gabriel? Sit in? Daniel, all right. Read Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people. It says Daniel is an holy person. Read. Unto the Lord thy God. Unto God. Even though they might treat, the Lord might treat Honduran people like garbage, they are special unto God. Read. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people. He says that you are a special person, Daniel. Read. Unto himself. Unto himself. Don't worry about how anybody else is dealing with you. To God, you are chosen and special. Read. Above all people. We say what? Above all people. As a people, because we're brothers. I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. These two brothers are from the tribe of Levi. Nonetheless, we all are from the nation of Israel. God's chosen people. But there's the thing. If we're so loved, if we're so chosen, if we're so special, why are we on the bottom of society? That's the question now, right? Why would God do us like that, right? Here's the answer to that question. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. You have a job? You don't have a job? Did you ever have a job? Okay. When you go to the job interview, they tell you what is going to be required of you, correct? Once you sign that paper, you adhere, right? You agree to do the requirements. Now, if you don't do those requirements, you then end up getting fired, right? Because you aren't fulfilling your requirements. So let's read. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. Now, these are the requirements that God gave unto the children of Israel that you so happen to be from. Read. And not Israel. And now who? And not Israel. So when he says Israel, he's talking to the nation. But you're a part of that nation, out of the tribe of Zebulon. Read. What does the Lord thy God require of thee? What does he require of you? It don't matter about me, right? I can give him the mic. He'll read the same thing to you. What does he require of you, Daniel? Read. How old are you? 27. Okay. Read. But to fear the Lord thy God. He says that you have to fear him. Now, mind you, he said this is a requirement, not a choice. Because when you went to your job, you weren't able to show up and say, I'm going to work today. I'm not going to work today. You didn't have a choice. You had to fulfill your requirement. So fearing him is a requirement. Do you know how to fear God? Okay, that's a good answer. Because a lot of people, they'll try to make something up. But it's important that you know. Why? Because it's required. It's something that you are going to be held accountable for. Read the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 15. Read. They that fear the Lord, they that do what? Fear the Lord, read, would not disobey his word. So, to show God true fear, true respect, you cannot disobey his word. Now, before we get any further, right, I want you to see something about yourself first. Do you eat pork? You eat pork, okay. Now, to fear God is a requirement, right? Which means you have to do it. You don't have a choice. To fear God is to not disobey his word. The Bible is God's word. So let's see what God's word say. And you're going to have to prove to yourself if you're willing to fear God by not disobeying what is going to be read. Read. Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. Read. And the swine. And the what? And the swine. Swine is pork, right? Read. Then you divide the hoof and the cloven foot. Because when you read further up in the chapter, in order for an animal to be considered clean, he has to pet the hoof, be cloven-footed, and chew the cud. He had to have all three requirements, not just two, not just one, but all three. But the pig only parts the hoof and is cloven-footed, right? So now, read.
And cheweth the cud, he is unclean to you.
He is what?
He is unclean.
So it says that the pig is unclean to you. So now, let's see what's the difference between a clean and an unclean animal. Read.
Of their flesh.
Of their what?
Of their flesh.
Of their what?
Of their flesh.
Nah, this is fine. It's done. Read.
Shall ye not eat.
It said of the pig, you cannot eat because it is an unclean animal. The pig isn't the only unclean animal, but being an unclean animal, you cannot eat it. So now, let's tie it all in, and then I'm going to ask you a question. It's a requirement to fear God. To fear God is to not disobey his word. His word just said, you cannot eat pork. You admitted that you do eat pork. But now, I want to ask you, would you say that you fear God? You don't fear God? Why do you say that? No, you see you switching up on me. You know, switching up. What you say?
Okay, I eating the thing, I did things that she don't like.
Okay, now listen. I respect that answer. You're the first person to analyze everything that I just laid out and say, you know what? I don't fear God because I disobey his word. That's a great answer, right? Now, should you stay that way? No. But it's good that you acknowledge it. And I'm going to show you why. Give me Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15. You acknowledged it, and I'm going to show you why it's important that you acknowledged it. And I respect that, man. That's the first brother to give an honest answer, man. Because everybody, they just try to defend themselves. It doesn't matter what you feel, right? It doesn't matter what you feel. It matters about the truth, and you spoke the truth, and I respect that. Give me Hosea 5 and 15.
Hosea chapter 5 verse 15.
Read.
I will go and return to my place. Till they acknowledge their offense.
So they do what?
Till they acknowledge their offense.
You have to just acknowledge your offense. You have to say, you know what? I've been eating pork, God. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop eating it. I'm going to try my best to stop eating it. Because all the Most High wants to see you do is at least try. Just don't say I'm not going to do it. Because now you're going to do what? Fulfill your requirement to him. He gave you 27 years of life. You look like you in good shape to me, right? You got a meal every day. You eat every day. You're able to take a shower every day. Hey, you getting treated real good, man. The least you can do is stop eating the animals he said stop eating. Now, along with the pork, you can't eat shrimp, you can't eat crab, you can't eat lobster, because when you read Leviticus 11 and 9, it says that you can only eat things out of the water that have fins and scales. Those things I just named don't have fins and scales. They might have fins, they might have scales, but they don't have both.
Right.
So now, that's one thing. Let's go back to the requirements, right? So you agree. Listen, I don't fear the Most High because I disobey his word. So now let's go through the requirements and let's see, be honest with yourself as to how many of these requirements you're actually fulfilling. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12.
Read.
And now Israel.
And now who?
And now Israel.
Back to speaking to brother Daniel, Israelite from the tribe of Zebulun, right?
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
What tribe you from? What tribe you from? Now, all right, all praise to the Most High. No problem. This is Most High, no problem. All praises. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him.
And to what?
And to love him.
And to do what?
And to love him.
Now, you are required to love God. Do you know how to love God? All right. I like the brother, man. The brother's he's being humble, right? He don't know, he's gonna find out. Per the scriptures. Read.
1 John chapter 5 verse 3.
Read.
For this is the love of God.
It says this is the love of God. Read.
That we keep his commandments.
That we do what?
That we keep his commandments.
So, brother Daniel, in order to show God love, you have to keep his commandments. Now, Leviticus 11 and 7, where we just read to you, is a commandment, right? So his words are tied in to the commandments. So our requirements ultimately is to obey his voice. Just to kind of put everything together. It's just to simply obey his voice. Anything he says to do, do. Everything he says don't do, don't do. Period. That's how you show him fear, and that's how you show him love. And everything that he's telling you to either do or not do, let's see the reason why. Keep reading. Go back to Aslak. Go back to Deuteronomy. Right? Let's see the reason why he's telling us this stuff. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read.
And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways,
right,
and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul.
Read.
To keep the commandments of the Most High,
right,
and his statutes, which I command thee this day, for thy good.
For the what?
For thy good.
For thy what?
For thy good.
It's only for your good. It's only for your benefit, right? The Most High has given you a requirement for you to have a good life. That's what's up, right? Because guess what? In this day and age, right? These other people, they after us, man. Right? They try to put blacks and Hispanics against each other, but guess what? You in the hood, I'm in the hood. Right? You get shot down like a dog, I get shot down like a dog. You grew up with only mommy, I grew up with only mommy. Right? We suffer the same things because we're the same people, regardless of what they may try to make you think. Because what they fear the most is us coming together. Right? What they fear the most is not only us coming together, but then us finding out who we truly are. Because our name means Prince of Power. Once we start to take back our true identity and nationality, we then get our power back, because we then start to return back unto the Most High God. That's what all of this is about. The information that you're hearing between your ears right now is to take you from wherever you are now and bring you back to the Most High God. Give me Isaiah 49 and 5. Give me Isaiah 49 and 5. Right?
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 5.
Read.
And now, saith the Most High,
right,
that formed me from the womb, to be his servant.
To what?
To be his servant.
To be his what?
To be his servant.
Read.
To bring Jacob again to him.
To do what?
To bring Jacob again to him.
So Jacob, the son of Isaac, the son of Abraham, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So when it says Jacob and Israel, it's interchangeable, right? So when it says to bring Jacob back unto them, that means to bring Israel back unto him. But it's talking about the Israelites, his descendants. So you being an Israelite, a descendant of Israel, my job is to bring you back through the Most High. It's not me, right? Because any brother up here could have been speaking to you. But our message is to bring you back from the wiles and the deception of this world to the true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High God. Because it's for your good. And as my brother, I would rather you wave me off than not try to call out to you and at least give you the opportunity to hear something that for 27 years of your life, you never heard. Now you got a choice. Let me show you what that choice is though. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 15. Let me show you what that choice is.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15.
Read.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good.
It says, it is set before you today, life and good, which is the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Read.
And death and evil.
It says, and death and evil. Let's see what brings about death. Romans 6 and 23, 1 John 3 and 4. Let's see what it, because we know on the life side, right? The good, we know it's the laws, the statutes, and commandments, the fearing him, the loving him, the walking in his ways. We know what the good is, but what's the death and evil? Read.
The book of Romans chapter 6 and verse 23.
Read.
For the wages of sin is death.
It says the wages of sin is death. The only thing you get out of sin is death. It doesn't mean that you're going to die right away. You could die 30 years from now. But nonetheless, the understanding is nothing good can come from sin at all. 1 John 3 and 4. What is sin though? Do you know what sin is according to the Bible? What is sin? How do you say sin? Yeah, you know what that is? Huh? The bad things we do? Okay, read.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
Read.
whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Right?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Now we gotta understand. In this world, right? If you run a red light, you get a ticket. That could be considered a bad thing, but it's not a sin. Now, if I go out and steal from somebody, that's a sin because the law says don't sin. I mean, so like, the law says don't steal. So if I steal, then I've sinned. So we now have to understand, God says, listen, I give you life and good, these laws, statutes, and commandments, or you could choose not to listen to everything that I just said and go ahead and take on death and evil, right? So now the thing about it is, you have to make a conscious choice every single day. But the thing about it is that you're still ignorant meaning that you just don't know. There's a lot of things you still don't know about the laws, statutes, and commandments. So you now have to work and figure out what those laws, statutes, and commandments are. Hebrews 5 and 12. Right? Hebrews 5 and 12. Right, no, newborn babes, I believe it's 2 Peter 2 and 20. Desire sincere milk.
I think it's 1 Peter 2 and 2.
1 Peter 2 and 2. Alright, give me that. 1 Peter. Because the whole thing about it is that I personally don't expect you to get it all right tomorrow. You probably can. The Most High probably got a different plan for you, right? But just me seeing how these things work, it takes time to break out of habits, right? Read.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2.
Read.
As newborn babes.
Say what?
As newborn babes.
So basically what the scripture is saying is that you're new to this thing, right? Anytime you're new, you're going to make mistakes. Right. It's going to take you time to actually gain the knowledge and be able to properly apply it, which is called wisdom. So it's going to take you some time.
Save your world upon many men that deserve your mercy, but I don't deserve your mercy again. No, keep it kosher, we living how we supposed to. Every Sabbath on the block where we be posted. Israel requires son, but you won't show it, no. This the generation of faith and we just know it, yeah.